Hey, Shalom. Mashallah. First and foremost, as always, I just want to give all praises, glory, and honor due unto Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rakah HaChodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone of GMS. To you I say Shalom, and Shalom to the hopeful elect. Kwam Yashal and Abad Bo. So I just wanted to piggyback off of Elder Bishop Manata's lesson here. By the way, his channel is called Jacob Barak 2. And the title of his lesson is called You've Sinned Against Your Creator. That's why. And yes, of course, I'll put a link in the description during post-production. Please go over to the channel and subscribe if you haven't already. And go on the channel and be edified. A lot of lessons. All right, so the elder bishop was going into a lot of things. And he was pointing out the hypocrisy of Jake on how they don't really want to get right. And pretty much Jake deserves what they're getting. And he was just going into the article here about Daniel Penny, the cop that got away with choking a so-called black man to death, which that man's name is Jordan Neely. And Daniel Penny basically got acquitted. He pretty much got off. He got away with murdering this guy. So Jake, obviously, they're out on the street again, starting with their activists. Got BLM out there saying, oh, you see, this happened again, this happened again. Yeah, it happened again, of course, because you rebelled against Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai. And it's going to keep happening until you get right. And ultimately, when the Lord comes back and delivers us out of this place, this won't happen anymore. But for the time being, due to your rebellion, these things are going to happen, and rightfully so. Now, I noticed in the video when the elder was playing the clip of the BLM activists, he made a statement saying we need more black vigilantes, which, that reminds me of Matthew chapter 16, verse 4. I'm going into how a wicked and adulterous generation seeketh a sign, roughly paraphrasing. I think I'm going to pull that up. And, you Jakes, man, you're wicked and you're hypocritical. You guys are very hypocritical, man. A very hypocritical nation. You have everything that you need to thrive in this earth. Everything. You have everything that you need to thrive on this planet Earth. You have everything. You have Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, you have the law, you have the prophets, you have everything you need. But you choose to rebel against your Creator. And that's why you're in this predicament. But you guys are hypocrites because you don't need no vigilantes, man. The vigilantes are already here. The vigilantes are really the prophets. Well, really, first and foremost, it's really Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, the Father and the Son. And the thing is, too, at the end of this video, the elder goes into Psalms 121, which that's a beautiful prayer. That prayer is going into how the Lord has your back, no matter what, especially when you serve Him. Nobody or anything can come against you when Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai is with you. Brothers should be reciting that prayer before you go to sleep or throughout the day. That's a very powerful prayer. But you have everything, and you still refuse and you deny Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai and His prophets. And that's why you're going to get killed. That's why your men and your women are going to get shot down by the police. That's why you're going to be last hired, first fired. That's why you're always going to be at the bottom. And it's not going to change until you get right. Now, I just want to get the word vigilante because that came up in the video. Yeah. See, that's the BLM founder that said it. We need some black vigilantes. Well, let's take a look at the word vigilante. The word vigilante from the online etymology dictionary, it says member of a vigilance committee. 1856, American English from Spanish vigilante, literally watchman. So vigilante is a watchman. Now, in this modern time, because of Newspeak, we associate the word vigilante with somebody that's going to bring forth justice, and they're going to get justice by any means necessary. So they're going to do it by force or violence. They're going to take the law into their own hands. And that's what he really means. But you don't need to do all of that. You already have the prophets. Matter of fact, let me get Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 17. It says, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word at my mouth, and give them warning from me. And the watchman is the prophet. The prophet. The watchman is a prophet. And the watchman, he sits in the watchtower, and he's looking for any danger that's approaching the kingdom. Any oncoming danger that's about to come toward the kingdom or the village. When he sees it, he sounds the alarm and he warns the people. And that's the prophet. That's why the prophet, what do? They say things before it happens. They come to you when you're not right. The Lord sends the prophet comes to you and tells you, look, if you guys don't get right, this is going to happen to you. You're going to go into captivity, or a plague's going to befall you. And if you don't take heed, you get judged. So you already have the vigilantes, man. And guess what? You know, this man right here, the elder bishop, that's a vigilante in the spirit. He's a spiritual warrior. Okay, he's a spiritual warrior, and he's your watchman. He's one of the watchmen. I myself, I'm a watchman. You know, we're out there on the highways and byways, and we're on the internet spreading the word and telling our people what's going on, delivering the message of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So, you know, you don't need no vigilantes. The vigilantes are already here, but you refuse to take heed, and that's your downfall. So it says, therefore hear the word at my mouth, and give them warning from me. When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way, to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand. That's right. So if we don't tell the wicked, if we don't tell our people, especially when our people are going off, that they need to get right and change their ways, we're liable for that. The blood is on our hands, right? So we have to go out there and warn you. So that's what a real vigilante does. He has to go out there no matter what. And the prophets, they didn't really like going out there on the highways and byways at times. When it came to interacting with the tribes, they didn't like it. It was annoying. It was very annoying. People are very stiff-necked, very rebellious. They're very sottish. So it says here, verse 19, yet if thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul. And that's why we're out there on the highways and byways. That's why we're doing these lessons. We're trying to get the message across so we can save our souls. So we don't get judged by Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So it's really on you. If you don't take heed to the Lord's prophets, that's on you. You're going to get judged. It's not the prophet's fault. Verse 20, again, when a righteous man doth turn from his righteousness and commit iniquity, and I lay a stumbling block before him, he shall die, because thou hast not given him warning. He shall die in his sin, and his righteousness which he hath done shall not be remembered, but his blood will I require at thine hand. And I'm going to read this in the NLT. If righteous people turn away from their righteous behavior, and ignore the obstacles I put in their way, they will die. That's right. So if a righteous man becomes wicked, you're going to get judged, pretty much. They will die. And if you do not warn them, they will die in their sins. And that's true. A lot of our people are just dying in their sins as well. Not, dying. You got a lot of our people out there too. They just die and they don't even know who they are. They don't know why they die. They don't understand why they're going through the things they're going through. Anyways, it says, And if you do not warn them, they will die in their sins. None of their righteous acts will be remembered, and I will hold you responsible for their deaths. So yeah, you even got to warn the righteous, man, when they go off. You can't just assume the righteous knows too. That's why the scripture says, be subject to one another. And we're supposed to hear each other out. Nobody's really exempt from getting punished, man. Nobody. It includes the righteous. So you have to warn the righteous as well. So yeah, we're responsible if we don't even warn the righteous. All right, so anyways, verse 21, nevertheless, if thou warn the righteous man that the righteous sin not, and he doth not sin, he shall surely live, because he is warned. Also, thou hast delivered thy soul. All right, and the elect are going to listen. They're going to hearken on to the word of the Lord. All right, so yes, you already have the vigilantes, man, which they are the watchmen, which are the prophets. So you don't need any more vigilantes. So this guy is off. And the elder bishop said, you got to watch a guy like that who's talking like that. And it's true. You do. Right? Isaiah what? Let's get Isaiah 8:20. You do got to watch a guy like that, because they're not saying anything that pertains to the book. They're not coming out of the scriptures. They're not telling you to get right with Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So anyways, it says Isaiah chapter 8, verse 20. And it says, to the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word. What is the word? The word is Yahushai. Why is that? Because the scripture says Yahushai comes in the whole volume of the book, roughly paraphrasing. So a lot of them are not coming in the word. They're not going into Yahushai. They're not going into the gospel, and they're definitely not calling out his name, telling you that you got to serve Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So they're not coming with the word. They're telling you to march, get your signs, lift up your voice, and talk about police brutality. No, man, you got to get right with your power. Notice it says to the law and to the testimony. Yeah, he's not telling you to follow the law, statutes, and commandments. And he's definitely not giving you a testimony. The testimony is the accounts of the prophets, the words that the prophets spoke concerning prophecy. Telling you, okay, such and such, if you break the law, this is what's going to happen to you because you broke this law. Or the prophets usually, especially Jeremiah, I remember reading, Jeremiah got punished when he brought up the account of how the tribes were going off years ago, or about, I think it was maybe hundreds of years ago. He used that account, and then they put him in stocks. I forgot where the scripture is, but that's what the prophets do. They're there to remind you of what happened, and that's a part of the testimony. So if they're not bringing the law, and if they're not bringing a testimony, then there is no light in them. And that's what you see here. There's no light in this man. There's no light in this guy. You're not bringing anything. You're not bringing the truth. All right, man. So I'm going to go into another one. I'm going to go to Isaiah 30. I'm going to start at verse 9. Isaiah chapter 30. Actually, I'll start at verse 8. It says, subtitle says, a warning for rebellious Judah. That's right. They are rebellious. And ain't that some shit, man? You tribes are rebellious, man. You are the only nation to make a covenant with the power of all powers and then rebel against him. After you made the covenant. You are the only ones to really rebel against a divine authority. That's messed up. You don't want to hear the law. You don't want to partake in the law. That's messed up. And this is what it's going into. So this is Isaiah chapter 30, verse 8. Now go write it before them in a table and note it in a book, that it may be for the time to come forever and ever. That's right. And you're supposed to write the words of the Lord down in the book. And that's why you have the Bible. Right? No excuse. When it's written down, there's no excuse. Now, I'm going to just say this. The scriptures was written aforetime for our learning. That's why you write it down in the book, so you can go learn. So a lot of our people, they don't want to open this book. That's why you end up getting shot down in the streets and get put on a t-shirt, man. A white t-shirt in loving memory of this fool who didn't want to serve Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Verse 9, that this is a rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the law of Yahweh. That's right. Rebellious people. Yeah, you are very rebellious. What does the scripture say about rebellion? I believe it's in the book of Samuel. Rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft. A lot of our people are rebellious. Bunch of witches and warlocks, man. Look at that. All here dressed up in black. Man. You name your organization BLM, Black Lives Matter. Black means death. And witches wear black. They're not coming to you with the law. They're not coming to you with the name of Yahweh Shem Shai. They're not telling you that the so-called white man is really your enemy, first and foremost, and that the hatred is ancient. They're not telling you that. So they're a bunch of witches and warlocks, man. Verse 10, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things. Speak unto us smooth things. Prophesy deceits. Yeah, and that's what you tell the prophets for the most part. You tribes, you rebellious tribes, man. Rebellious Israelites. Here it is, you have the prophet before you. He's telling you the vision. Oh, I don't want to hear the vision. I don't want you to see anymore. The prophet there who's going to say things before it happens, you tell him not to prophesy, man. Telling you things that are going to happen in the future, and you don't want to hear it. That's our people, man. Our people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Hosea 4:6. Our people are sawdust children. Jeremiah 4:22. That's our people, man. Backwards, man. Rebellious, backwards, stiff-necked, stupid. And then you have the audacity to come out here and say we need vigilantes. Fuck out of here, man. Tired of you tribes, man. Excuse my language. I'm going to read this in the NLT verse 10. They tell the seers, stop seeing visions. They tell the prophets, don't tell us what is right. Tell us nice things, tell us lies. And you know what it gets physical sometimes. They'll fight the prophets or even put the prophets to death and shame them. That's how our people are. Didn't the Lord talk about that? Jerusalem, Jerusalem, the ones that killeth the prophets, roughly paraphrasing. I believe that's in Matthew, the 23rd chapter. I'm going to get that. Verse 11, get you out of the way, turn aside out of the path, because the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. I'm going to read in NLT, forget all this gloom, get off your narrow path, stop telling us about your Holy One of Israel. Damn. So they're telling the prophets, man, we don't want to hear about Yahweh Shem Yoshai. We don't want to do what he says. And get off the narrow path. Wow. Because this walk is very narrow. Straight gate. And they don't want to walk the straight gate. They think you can take a shortcut. They think they can do it their way. They think there's different avenues when it comes to getting salvation. That's our people, man. And like I said earlier, you are the only nation to make a covenant with the power of all powers and then rebel against the powers of all powers after you made the covenant. Right? You guys are the ones that rebelled against divine authority. You're the only nation. You're the only nation. And then you expect good things to happen to you? Bugged out, man. You tribes are fucked. You tribes are fucked up. So this is Matthew chapter 23, verse 37. And it says here, this is what the Lord said. It says, lament over Jerusalem. O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, thou that killest the prophets, and stonest them which are sent unto thee, how often would I have gathered thy children together, even as a hen gathereth her chickens under her wings, and ye would not. Wow. Let's read that in NLT. O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, the city that kills the prophets and stones God's messengers. How often I have wanted to gather your children together as a hen protects her chickens or her chicks, beneath her wings, but you wouldn't let me. And now, look, your house is abandoned and desolate. For I tell you this, you will never see me again until you say blessings on the one who comes in the name of Yahweh. And that's true. And, I could just picture this, man. I picture the Lord leaving. I picture the conversation between the Lord and the people, the wicked scribes and wicked Pharisees, or whoever is coming up against them. This is how I'm picturing it. If people were to approach the Lord, deny what he's telling them, and then they get angry, you know what the Lord's going to do? He's just going to leave. He'll tell you the truth, and then he's just going to leave. He's not going to fight with you, and he's going to look at you as irredeemable, man. And that's how you're supposed to be when these people come up. You brothers, man, don't even bother fucking fighting with these people out here, man. If a nigga can't get it, we moving on. Just move on, man. And that includes your family members. And you don't force it on them. Tell them once, don't force it on them. And if they don't get it, that's their problem, bro. Just leave. Don't fight with these people, man. It's a waste of time. Just leave. Just leave. Because if they're of the 2/3, they ain't going to make it on this side. And that's why I said the Lord, when he left, he looked at them as irredeemable, man. You can't buy these people back. They don't want to listen. They don't care. Waste of time, man. Waste of time. Waste of time. Talking to these people sometimes, but you have to do it. Going back to what we read in Ezekiel, the 3rd chapter, we have to warn the wicked. So anyways, this is Matthew chapter 5. And I just want to get this. I might as well just bring this out. Matthew chapter 5, verse 17. Because this is what a vigilante does. In Yahushua, he's a top vigilante. He's a top watchman. And this is what he said. This is Matthew chapter 5, verse 17. Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. Right? Because the law is the laws, the 613 laws, the divine laws that are given to us by Yahweh Bashem Yoshai. We're supposed to follow them. So Yahushua didn't come to destroy that. And he says, or the prophets. And what do the prophets do? They bring forth the testimony of what's written in the book and the law on how you're supposed to follow it. And what will happen to you if you don't. And what will happen to you if you do. Which good things happen to you when you follow the law. Right? So this backs up also Isaiah chapter 8, verse 20. To the law and to the testimony. Right? If they're not according to the law and to the testimony, there's no light in them. Just roughly paraphrasing, man. But we read it already. So the Lord has light in him because he's bringing forth the law and he's bringing forth the testimony of the prophets. So it says, I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. That's right. So he's going to fulfill. So he loves the law and he loves the testimony. He loves the prophets. And in fact, he is a prophet. All right. So, yeah, man, let me see. I'll just read verse 18. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one little shall in no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled. I'll read in the NLT. I tell you the truth, until heaven and earth disappear, not even the smallest detail of the Most High's law will disappear until its purpose is achieved. True. It's true. All right. And I'm going to just say this, man. The Lord's word will always prevail. Okay, and the law will always bring forth judgment. It will always bring forth righteousness. Doesn't matter if you want to change it or not. All right, so that's all I have. I just wanted to go into that. The vigilantes are here. They're the prophets. And they're out in the highways and byways. That's why the scripture says, lift up thy voice as a trumpet and go into the chief places of concourse. And that's where you're going to find them. And a vigilante is out in the open, and he doesn't put on a disguise like Spider-Man or Batman. Okay, he's out in the open. He's out in the open. The only thing we're putting on is the garments, the sackcloth. That's the thing we're putting with the fringes on it. All right. So, anyways, with that, I just want to give all praises, glory, and honor due unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakaha Kladash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone of GMS that do rule well and that do teach well, that have taught me this truth. To you I say shalom. Kwam Yashala.